Welcome to the Global Prayer Network platform of salvation with Bishop Wilfred D. Williams, also with Reverend Dr. Julian T. Kahn with Transformation Through the World. Join Reverend Dr. Julian T. Kahn at 6 p.m. this and every Friday for Transformation Through the World, and Bishop Wilfred D. Williams with our regular broadcast. Don't forget to join our Wednesday and Friday morning prayer conference at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and conference number 848-220-3100. Access code 1968888. Also join our midnight prayer with the Waging War Prayer Summit at 12 a.m. this and every Friday. Conference number 435-777-2200. Access code 6071081.
If you're a believer, you need to hear this. Fake prophets have turned faith into a spectacle. Bishop Wilfred D. Williams' new book, Veil of Deception, is here to set the record straight. This powerful expose unmasks the spiritual corruption lurking behind the masks of false prophets and pastors. Dive deep into the lies that have led the church into disgrace. With a clear, passionate voice, Bishop Williams reveals the truth and offers a path back to genuine faith. Join him on this critical journey. Veil of Deception is more than a book. It's a call to action for every believer. Stand up for the truth. Reclaim the integrity of the church. Coming next year, don't miss it. Veil of Deception, unmasking spiritual corruption in false prophets and pastors. Are you ready to see the truth?
Searching for a deeper connection? Find it here with us. Welcome to the Global Prayer Network TV, your platform of salvation. At GPNTV, we're all about teaching the Word of God and reviving the timeless values of the Church. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Bishop Wilfred D. Williams for an uplifting and transformative broadcast. Feel the power of prayer, strengthen your faith, and connect with a community that cares. Stay tuned for the latest religious news and updates on upcoming community events. Whether you're seeking guidance, hope, or just a place to belong, GPNTV is here for you. Don't miss out. Be part of something bigger. Join us this Tuesday at 9 p.m. and let's grow in faith together. Global Prayer Network TV, where faith and community come alive. Searching for a deeper connection? Find it here with us. Welcome to the Global Prayer Network TV, your platform of salvation. At GPNTV, we're all about teaching the Word of God and reviving the timeless values of the Church. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Bishop Wilfred D. Williams for an uplifting and transformative broadcast. Feel the power of prayer, strengthen your faith, and connect with a community that cares. Stay tuned for the latest religious news and updates on upcoming community events. Whether you're seeking guidance, hope, or just a place to belong, GPNTV is here for you. Don't miss out. Be part of something bigger. Join us this Tuesday at 9 p.m. and let's grow in faith together. Global Prayer Network TV, where faith and community come alive. Searching for a deeper connection? Find it here with us.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. This isn't just another event, it's a transformative experience that can change the course of our lives and the world around us. Imagine a place where faith communities from all corners of the globe gather, united by one powerful purpose: to wage spiritual warfare through prayer. This summit was established by Reverend Dr. Julian Williams, who received a divine vision in October. With specific guidance to ensure that our public safety systems are updated, this summit aims to equip us with the spiritual tools we need for these challenging times. Now you might be wondering, why is this summit so important? Take a look at the world today. We see conflicts escalating, humanitarian crises unfolding, and leadership being questioned. It feels like everything is spiraling out of control. But through prayer, we have the power to make a difference. At this year's summit, we'll be addressing these pressing issues head-on. We'll be praying for peace in conflict zones like Gaza, where tensions have reached a boiling point. We'll be lifting up leaders, asking for wisdom and guidance as they navigate these turbulent waters, and we'll be seeking divine intervention for those who are suffering, ensuring that humanitarian efforts are strengthened and lives are saved. But that's not all. The Waging War Prayer Summit is also a time for personal renewal. It's a chance for us to reconnect with our faith, to strengthen our relationship with God, and to find solace and strength in His presence. Throughout the summit, you'll have the opportunity to participate in powerful prayer sessions, hear inspiring testimonies, and engage in meaningful worship. We'll have renowned speakers and faith leaders sharing their insights and experiences, providing us with the spiritual nourishment we need to keep fighting the good fight. And let's not forget about the sense of community you'll experience here. There's something truly special about coming together with like-minded individuals who share your passion for prayer and spiritual warfare. You'll leave this summit not only feeling recharged, but also deeply connected to a global network of faith warriors. So I invite you to join us at the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. Let's come together, united in prayer, and make a lasting impact on the world. Remember, through faith and prayer, we can move mountains. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and get ready for a life-changing experience. I can't wait to see you there. Stay blessed and keep the faith. Hey everyone, welcome to the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. This isn't just another event, it's a transformative experience that can change the course of our lives and the world around us. Imagine a place where faith communities from all corners of the globe gather, united by one powerful purpose: to wage spiritual warfare through prayer. This summit was established by Reverend Dr. Julian Williams, who received a divine vision in October. With specific guidance to ensure that our public safety systems are updated, this summit aims to equip us with the spiritual tools we need for these challenging times. Now you might be wondering, why is this summit so important? Take a look at the world today. We see conflicts escalating, humanitarian crises unfolding, and leadership being questioned. It feels like everything is spiraling out of control, but through prayer, we have the power to make a difference. At this year's summit, we'll be addressing these pressing issues head-on. We'll be praying for peace in conflict zones like Gaza, where tensions have reached a boiling point. We'll be lifting up leaders, asking for wisdom and guidance as they navigate these turbulent waters, and we'll be seeking divine intervention for those who are suffering, ensuring that humanitarian efforts are strengthened and lives are saved. But that's not all. The Waging War Prayer Summit is also a time for personal renewal. It's a chance for us to reconnect with our faith, to strengthen our relationship with God, and to find solace and strength in His presence. Throughout the summit, you'll have the opportunity to participate in powerful prayer sessions, hear inspiring testimonies, and engage in meaningful worship. We'll have renowned speakers and faith leaders sharing their insights and experiences, providing us with the spiritual nourishment we need to keep fighting the good fight. And let's not forget about the sense of community you'll experience here. There's something truly special about coming together with like-minded individuals who share your passion for prayer and spiritual warfare. You'll leave this summit not only feeling recharged, but also deeply connected to a global network of faith warriors. So I invite you to join us at the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. Let's come together, united in prayer, and make a lasting impact on the world. Remember, through faith and prayer, we can move mountains. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and get ready for a life-changing experience. I can't wait to see you there. Stay blessed and keep the faith.
Searching for a deeper connection? Find it here with us. Welcome to the Global Prayer Network TV, your platform of salvation. At GPNTV, we're all about teaching the Word of God and reviving the timeless values of the Church. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Bishop Wilfred D. Williams for an uplifting and transformative broadcast. Feel the power of prayer, strengthen your faith, and connect with a community that cares. Stay tuned for the latest religious news and updates on upcoming community events. Whether you're seeking guidance, hope, or just a place to belong, GPN TV is here for you. Don't miss out. Be part of something bigger. Join us this Tuesday at 9 p.m. and let's grow in faith together. Global Prayer Network TV, where faith and community come alive.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever we find ourselves. Good evening, good morning. And we are grateful to God to be counted among the living once again. It is an opportunity, and this is a blessing for us where we find ourselves. I want to be very much grateful for this beautiful Tuesday evening that the Lord has made, and we must rejoice and be glad in it. So this is one of the things that He has given us. One of the best things that God has ever given us. That this is the day that the Lord has made. We must. He said we will, or we going to be, but we must rejoice and be glad in it. So this is a blessing that God is commanding us that we must rejoice and be glad in it, because Bible says in all things give thanks, in good times, in bad times, in healthy time, whatever time you find yourself in, you got to give thanks and praises unto the Heavenly Father. Or I am here again with another topic, and now this topic is all about the book that I've just completed, that God told me about. I don't do nothing in terms of writing, or except because if I was doing something on my own in terms of writing, I would have been struggling. I would have been struggling on doing a lot of research and all of these things to compile all of these pieces of evidence, manuscripts and things together. But once God tells me and say, Wilfred, this is it and this is what you should do, well, immediately I get on that computer. I spend 4, 5 times, let me say four, about 8 to 10 hours completing a book that revelation God has given me that I must do this. You see, so one of the blessings, my daughter and I, Edwina, we came from, I pick her up from school, and I said, let's get a Wawa or Walmart so I can get some stuff in reference to a sack of water and that. So while we were on our way home, and the Holy Spirit started to administer to me, talking about the ancestors' coven. I said, then I told Edwina, I said, Edwina, you hear what God is telling me? I'm hearing something like the ancestors' coven. Or but I'm going home right now, because if I enter my room, I'm not getting up. I'm going to put all of these pieces together. And we came home, and I went in bed. I sat in the bed and I called my wife. I said, Suya, I got something to tell you. This is what God is telling me, talking about our name has been engrafted on the covenant of our ancestors. So I got to do something. I got to write about this. I got to put this in writing. And here we go. So I decided to talk just a little bit about, let's say, the synopsis of the book, the synopsis of what I have been compiling in terms of their ancestors' coven. Many of us, we will not understand. We will not understand what is going on in our life. We will not understand, but we need to come to the place of the true teaching of the gospel. Once we come to the place of the true teaching and understanding of the gospel, we will all understand that there is something that is going on in our life. There is something. So the book is entitled The Ancestors Coven, Unearthing Hidden Legacy. You know, the ancestor coven is there, the ancestors coven is there, but there is a hidden legacy that went down to or the grave, or that went down in the coven with our ancestor. Why am I talking about ancestor all of the time? In this dispensation, or even the African American book that I wrote, and that is on Amazon. African American book that I wrote, talk about African American, their ancestral spirit. Okay, the ancestral spirit, the African American, the ancestral spirit. So there are a lot of things that going on in our life, going on in our community, that we have our ancestor play a major role, both positive and negatively, roles into these things that are happening in our community. So based on that, I came from that perspective as well in writing the book called The Ancestors Coven. So I'm going to be saying some things here in reference to my own life. I'm going to be saying some things here in reference to my own life. And if you have any contribution, any suggestion to me, any testimony you have, or and you want us to hear your testimony, you want us to be part of what you are going through, that we all can come together and pray for you, pray along with you, and we pray together, because collective prayer, that is very important. Intercessory prayer, where believers gather and pray for one another, that's what we call collective prayer. So the number is on the screen, is 856-359-0922. If you need collective prayer, we all can come together and pray along with you and pray with you by the grace of God. So I'm going to be diving a little bit deeper into this ancestors Coffin, but I'm going to come from the perspective of my own life. And if you want your story to be heard, this is the platform of salvation. There are some things that we need to confess. We need to talk openly for us to be delivered. There are some things that we need to come out and say, this is what happened, this is what I did. And this, like the other time I told you that I said something to my audience the other time. I said that whenever you went to a fetish priest, you went to a native doctor, and you are asked to be marked. You are asked to you need a protection from the native doctors. And then what happen here is that they will tell you, say, they got to pierce your body, they got to pierce your skin, and that I have 24 marks on me. In reference to that, 24 marks. And once they remove your blood, they are replacing your blood. That means they are changing you. There is something we call exchange. They are exchanging your blood that came from you after this piercing of the razor blade or of that object. Okay, there is something that manifests right in between there. That is the exchange. In other words, they are taking something from you and giving you something that you pay for in the future. That's what people don't understand when they're talking about we taking protection. I'm going to take protection. I'm going to do this, or I need protection, and all of these things. I got to pierce my body. I did that all in the rank, but in the rank of the law excuses no one. So, but it takes the power and it takes prayer to really have my life delivered from all of those things that I did in the past. Okay, in the name of protection. And we only have one protector, and that protector is God. Only God that we have. God is only our protector. You understand? So never go to a native doctor to say he giving you protection. Once he gave you that, he taking in you got to pay for it. There is something you are giving in return for what he's giving you. You might not experience it at that moment, but it might run through your generation. It might run through your lineage. You will not understand. You see what I'm saying? So I want to advise before I can go through this topic, because all of these things, they are intertwined. Taking protection. Well, I have 24 marks on my body from protection. I did it all in a ring. When we went to Sierra Leone as refugee, and I took protection. I took that mark, and I have to pray and destroy and broke the law to that mark, because I saw that there is something that they did in exchanging for my blood, because they gashed me on my back, on my chest, in my ribs, all of that stuff on my shoulder. They gashed me, and we talked that I was thinking that this is a good thing. This is a marvelous thing. This is protection, but that's not protection. To you, it is protection, but you are paying for it, because they are putting things in you after they remove your blood. They are putting things in you. They are putting something in you. Okay, so the strength of the strength of you lies in the ability of your blood. Your life is in the blood. Everything of your life is in the blood. So when they pierce your body and that blood come out, do you know what they're taking the blood? Do you know? You don't know. So are we looking at what we call the Ancestor's Coffin? This is a very powerful book team that I have written the book already, and there is no touches on it, no finishing touches, nothing else to be done on it. But I have compiled all the necessary manuscripts, and then this will be given to the publisher anytime from now to next year, because all of these books, I got 3 books out there now. I got 3 books in my library that will be published, that will be launched next year by the grace of God. My manager going to come up with that. So why did let me go back up. If you have anything of your testimony, how you break free from your ancestors or spirit or ancestral spirit, if you have anything to contribute to this, the number on the screen is 856-359-0922. Or let us call so that we can discuss. Let us discuss this issue. I break free from it now. Today, my past or mine living today has become a legacy that people who knew me, people who know me now, can live after my legacy from the past, because I have built it to the place that my ancestor cannot. That coven no more for me. Okay. So if you have any testimony, anything to contribute to this lesson today, it is 856-359-0922. Let us go deep into what I call the ancestor coven, the ancestors coven. Why did I come up with this? I did not. Why God gave me this wonderful theme to be pinned down in black and white and have it out there for people to read? Why? There are a lot of answers and resources to this theme or to this title. Okay, the ancestor coven. Why do we play mess around with our life? Okay, let us look at something from my life. Okay, I hail from Grand Kidmore County, and I was born in Nema County. I was born in Nema County. My mother from Grand Bassa County, and my father. I'm talking about the ancestor coven. Or my mother from Grand Bassa County, my father from Grand Kidmore County. But because of transfer from school, my father was a teacher, so he was transferred to Nema County, and he was serving as the principal for Camfo or Unification School. There was a public school there. He was the principal for that school. It was a government school. He was the principal for that school. So there where he and my mother met, and I was born in that place. I was born in Lango Yekepa. I was born in the Yekepa hospital. Those days, that one of the beautiful areas to ever give birth to your babies and stuff like that. So these people settled in Nema County, and I was born there. We were born there. But I'm truly into my mind trap, because I've been Grand Bassa. I live there, I work there, and all of that stuff. So I love my Bassa people, and I speak the Bassa. I don't even speak the Va and stuff like that. I understand one just a little. I am not really identifying with the tradition of the custom of my father and stuff like that. So this my father here was a very educated man. I'm talking about the ancestors coven, right? But I have to talk about myself into the book a lot. I had to write about myself a lot in this book. That all of people I know, they have their testimony. Everybody have the back. But let me read something here before I can go to the story of myself. He said the ancestral legacy represent the cumulative experiences, values, trauma, and wisdom passed down from one generation to the next. It will say these legacies are not always explicitly taught. Often they are unconsciously transmitted through behaviors, traditions, and family dynamics. While some of these legacies take the form of cultural pride, resilience, or spiritual practices, others may manifest in generational trauma, unsolved conflict, or deeply ingrained limited belief, whether positive or negative, right? He said these ancestral influences shape how individuals see the world, handle a relationship, and respond to challenges, or subtly guiding the direction of their lives. So, while I decided to talk about myself, or in terms of the ancestor covens, or you see, when you are a firstborn in the family, if you are the firstborn in the family, the firstborn, your father may have so many children, or 5, 6, 7. But once you are the firstborn in that family, you can have your sister to be the firstborn. But once you are the firstborn, or your name is already engraved on the family coven. especially where you came from, based on your background, based on your tradition, based on your custom, where you from. So immediately you are born, you are the firstborn in that family. Your name has already been engraved in the coffin. In that coffin, your name already written there, because according to the tradition of Asian tradition or whatever it is, the firstborn will always take on the legacy of the family. The firstborn will always carry on the prayer of the family. So you see, so most of the time when people take on these responsibility, or the responsibility comes with repercussion. If you decide, if I came from, I will talk about myself. Let me just narrow this down to myself. Okay, my father was an educated man, but he had a gun in his room. And this gun here was supposed to be transferred to me. But this guy used to go in that room early in the morning, brush his teeth, and we call that the country toothbrush, brush his teeth with the country brush, and he would spit on that gun. He was he would do his enchantment and have it wasted on that gun. And that gun, I should have been the one to continue that legacy in the family. So immediately you subscribe to the tradition, such a custom, your name is already engraved on the coffin. So then you become part of the ancestor coffin. Every ancestor, every generation, they are carrying a coffin, but it left with you, the individual, to break yourself loose from that coffin. Every family, every ancestor, there is a coffin that they are carrying. Every ancestor, every family that gravitate to any tradition that does not worship God, there is a coffin already in that family that their names is crafted upon. This is where I came from, talking about the ancestor coffin. Okay, the ancestor coffin is that if you grow up in the family and you decide to follow the tradition, let's take for an example, or not an example. I said I won't be talking deeply about myself in this. I'm gonna just be chipping little stuff in concerning my background, concerning my life. You understand? Because most of this stuff I got in that book, The Ancestor Coffin, man, I mean, it's about my life, and it's about some family where we were and all that stuff. And I got some permanent people in that book, or The Ancestor Coffin. So all I'm saying is that, so my dad used to do enchantment on that or gun, that native gun, that country cloth. You see all these voodoo priests and things can be wearing around in Africa. You understand, with all these gamma seeds and all this stuff or hanky on it. You don't even wash it. You are not to wash that gun, because when you wash the gun, the power will be diminishing from the gun. The traditional power will be diminishing from the gun. You know, so he does that every day, every morning. So I, the one now, was next in line because I'm the firstborn for my father. I'm the firstborn, the secondborn, and the firstborn for my father. Okay, so I was next in line to carry on that tradition. So if I have accepted carry on that custom, my name was already written on the coffin, that ancestor coffin. My name. So now when your name is crafted on that ancestor coffin, what happens here is that you don't live long. You don't live long. You don't live long when they have crafted your name on that ancestor coffin. You don't live long. Your life, you're going to live a limited life. Your life will be very limited. Sometimes when your name is crafted on the ancestor coffin, what happens here is that sometimes you live for only 50 years. Sometimes you live for 30 years. You don't pass more than 50. You don't pass more than 50. The ancestors they're going to come for you. You don't pass more than 50 years. If you take over the tradition of your family and you want to run with that legacy, you want to continue that family prayer, that evil prayer. Okay, once you take on that evil prayer of the family, your name is already on that coffin, the ancestor coffin. So once your name is engraved in that ancestor coffin, you find nothing good happening for your life. The only time something good happens for your life, when you stay in God, When you put your life together and worship God and stay in the confront, stay in the family of God, that's the only way you will break free from the ancestor coven. But if you continue to walk into inner rank and thinking that, oh, I can't do this, I don't want to be part of this, I don't want to be part of this, but in so doing that, you don't want to be part of the ancestor coven. You have to walk in alignment with God. You got to walk according to the will of God for the protection of God. But if you break away from the ancestor coven that your name is already engraved in, okay, your name, once, as I said, once you are, because normally when it comes to traditional custom, once you are the firstborn in the family, moreover a boy, okay, you can have 4 or 5 sisters, older sisters ahead of you, but once you are born as a boy, you are the first born in the family. You have to take on the family tradition. You have to, if the family believe in their altar, if the family believe in that thing, you have to take on the family altar. You got to take on the family legacy. And immediately you take on the family legacy, then your name will be on the ancestor coven. Your name will be engraved on the ancestor coven. Then you have to die at an early age. And where you see these folks come, the left comes to an end is at the age of 50. They can pass 50, 45 years to 50. You can pass that age. You understand? So that ancestor coven, once you decide to run with the family prayer, that ancestor prayer, oh, you are next in line to do that, your name has been engraved upon that coven. And you see, the people like us who were next in line to take on that family prayer, or this is why we found it very difficult when we leave the confines of God. Okay, we get attacked on numerous occasions. Like I was being attacked on different occasions. I have my ancestor attacking me, the ancestral spirit attacking me, and I brought my own life into something that I say I went for protection, to protect myself, and I took 24 marks on my body. 24 marks on my body, thinking that it was protection. But there was something called exchange. They were exchanging my blood for the blood of being useless. They were taking my destiny to useless my destiny. That's what they were doing. So I brought that upon myself. You understand? I brought that upon myself, then with my ancestor spirit behind me, because my name was already on that ancestor coven, because I was next in line to take on the family tradition. I was next in line to take on our family tradition. But when I break free, and I break away from that tradition because of prayer. So now I have to keep in the attitude of prayer to maintain my life with God, my spiritual life with God. Whenever I make any mistake and slip away from the things of God, living in accordance with the word of God, my ancestor will always come after me. They will always come after me, because I was next in line to take on the family prayer, and I refused to do that. I broke away from that. You understand? So what am I saying here is that, I want to encourage you. You may not understand. You may not understand what is going on in your life, okay? Because you are next in line. Some strange things happening to you because you are next in line to take on the prayer of your ancestors. And taking on the prayer of your ancestors, it comes with repercussion. I see people, I feel sorry for people. I feel sorry for folks who, I feel sorry for folks who are out there. They're saying that they are taking protection. They want to get elevated. They want to get elevated. They want to get a job. They want to stay in position. They want to become. So one time I was lying down here and I was thinking about my brothers. I was thinking about them. I say, what is going on with these guys and stuff? And the Lord began to tell me, say, don't compare your brothers with any one of their friends, with any one of your friends that are up there. And I caught myself, because I got my brother who next to me. My wife had a prophecy. My wife had a vision about this guy. He's supposed to be a senator in Liberia. You understand? But the guy just like, and I started to compare him with some of his friends, and the Lord rebuked me. So you know how they got there? The Lord told me, you know how his friends got there, you know what they passed through, you know what they did to themselves to get to where they are. And the Lord rebuked me, and I have to repent from that point. You see, and all of these guys that are getting into these occulted or practices to get position, to get this, they are in crafting their name on the covens of the ancestor. Let's forget about the ancestor. So they are building their own coven. They are building their own coven and writing their name on it and printing their name on that coven. But first of all, I am the firstborn born for my father and mother. So I was next in line to take on my ancestor prayer. Okay, that number one. So my name was already on that coven that I was going to die at an early age. My name was already on that ancestor coven. Then if I leave that ancestor coven and I went because I need position in the government, and take on another thing, went to another native doctor, that means I am carrying two coven. Because once you take from a native daughter for position, there is a repercussion you got to pay. You either pay with your life, you either pay with something, you either do this, all these nasty sacrifices they tell you to do. So the ancestor coven is something that we have to look at critically. We have to analyze why people die early in our community. And some people die, we say, oh, the man, or they wish the man, they did this to the man, this happened to the man, that happened to the man. We have to analyze that ancestor coven very, very critically. Very critically. Because we who next in line to this, give me 1 second, let me see. So you cannot chat. Could you use someone that talk if you be interested to talk? Yeah, excuse me. The number is on the screen. Katie, I know where you from. So can you see, you cannot see chat. Could you use someone that talk if you can be interested to talk? Yes, the number on the screen, you can dial the number on there. The number is there. You Kati, yeah, Kati. The number there is 856-359. Okay, yeah, you can dial the number. I understand you're American, Pennsylvania. Yeah, you're from America. The number on the screen, the number is on the screen there is 856-359-0922 is right there. If you are surely watching me, the number is there. Oh, okay, let me pin the number on here so you can be able to call. Hold on 1 second. It's 856-359-0922. I'm so sorry. I don't know why you can't see the number. Okay, if you want to call, this is the number you call, okay? I cannot call, sorry. Okay, if you can call, then that's okay. So we're talking about the ancestor coven. You know, we from Africa, and even if your name is crafted on that ancestor coven, you leave your location, you change wherever you can live, wherever you can go, it will still follow you. Okay, then there where I talk about spiritual conspiracy theory. You know, there where I talk about the spiritual conspiracy theory. So if even you leave your hometown, you travel anywhere, your name is stay on that ancestor coven that you have to break free. So breaking free from the ancestor coven, you oh, okay. The person is saying that I'm talking about some things that they are going through. Okay, this is it. All right. Yeah, if you are going through that, maybe you can call me offline and then we discuss that. We pray along with you and get you saved by the grace of God. So as I said, once you are next in line, your name is on that coven, no matter what. Your knee cannot be removed from that covenant except you break away from that ancestor prayer. You got to break away from that prayer. If you don't break away from that prayer, you will stay walk into the prayer of the ancestors. So if you just break away on your own from that ancestor covenant, if you just break away from on your own, let me see. Okay, if you just break away by yourself, okay, if you break away by yourself, that ancestor covenant will still be after you. Okay, the spirit of death will still be after you. Your knee, because your knee has been engrafted on that covenant, because you are next in line to carry on the family prayer. And the family prayer, the ancestor prayer, is something that comes with repercussion. So why will you want to carry on that prayer of your ancestor, knowing fully well that I'm revealing all of these things because some of us, we don't know what is going on in our life. We're thinking that, oh, the people wish me, they bewitch me, or people did this to me and people did that to me. No, some of these things, it comes from your background. It comes from where you come from. Okay, where you from. So this is how they tie us to these things that we don't know. They want us to discharge their function. They want us to carry on their duties because we are the firstborn in the family in reference to we the born child. Okay, so they want us to carry on that ancestral duty. And those are all who God called. Oh, somebody talking about, hold on one second, let me put this stuff on here. This person here name. Bring peace to our. Okay, do you know what the transcendental mark of destiny is by chance? I don't know that, oh dear, I don't know that. Except you call and explain it to us. So I'm talking about the negative aspect. Koti, I'm talking about the negative aspect of our ancestors. That once you are in line, next to take on that the tradition, your name has already been written on that ancestor covenant. This is the point that I am coming from. I haven't come to the positive aspect of this book is the on let's say unearthing hidden treasure. Most of our ancestors, people carry things to the grave for them that we don't know. They are blessing this. For an example, I say bless his children. Abraham blessed his children. For me, when my father passed away, I was not around. Okay, he should have laid hands on me and blessed me and pray for me. Okay, Isaac did that, Jacob did that, and all of these folks pray for their children. Okay, these are the hidden legacy. These are the hidden legacy that we'll talk about next year. But I don't really know transcendent mark. I don't know what is transcendent mark you are talking about. But I haven't come to that on hidden legacy, on effing the hidden legacy. There is a legacy that our family should have left for all the talk to the coffin with them. That's what I'm talking about here. So the hidden legacy of our ancestor is one of the beautiful things that we can discuss. We can discuss about. Okay, Joseph father prayed for Joseph's two sons when he went to Egypt. Abraham prayed for Isaac. Abraham prayed for his children. Okay, and he left them with a legacy. That's the positive aspect I'm talking about. You understand? But what I'm not talking about here is that the pride, the negative pride of the family, that those are who were born as the firstborn child in the family, they want us to take on this pride. They want us to carry on this tradition. And it will not benefit us. It will not help us in any way, but rather to shorten our destiny. This is why we're talking about the ancestors' covenant. So they have crafted our name on their covenant and mark us with the mark of death. Okay, the mark of premature death. When we carry on this ancestral duty, then later on we have to pay back with our life out of early death. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So if you are here and you are in that position, you are in that state, and people are people from your hometown. Let me tell you something. I was in a relationship for 14 years. And this relationship was carrying her own background. Her own background that was very terrible. Okay? This relationship was carrying a background that was very terrible, and I was carrying my own background that was very terrible, next in line to take on family pride. So now, since that I refused to take on my family pride, then her background started to attack me. Okay? So her background and my background, there was a conspiracy already about my life. Okay? Number two, the individual was not a praying person. Number three, the individual never understood spiritual thing. So it was that trap, that relationship was a perfect relationship, a perfect timing for the enemy to capture my life in that. You understand? Because the background of that individual was very terrible. And my background, what they were after me is to walk, to carry on the family prayer. But I said no. Saying no to carry on the family prayer, I was not living right with God. So my life was in turmoil all the days of my life. For the 14 years I was in that. My life was in total disgrace. I did not understand my life. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so now if you break away from the family pride, not to discharge the duty of the family, you got to walk with God. You need to walk with God all the days of your life to be protected. But when you walk outside the ordinances of God, your ancestor will come after you. That spirit will haunt you. That spirit will haunt you. That's what I'm saying. That spirit will be after you. That spirit will come after you. You understand? So my life there was a perfect timing for the enemy. This is what happened to me. Okay, when I was in that relationship for 14 years, you know, some of these things we have to say to break loose, to set ourselves free from what we are going through or what we went through, that other people will understand. So I wrote this book called The Ancestor Coffin on hidden, on uncovering hidden treasures, hidden mysteries, hidden legacy. But I'm talking about the positive aspect of the book yet that I wrote. The Ancestor Coffin. So now, when I was in a relationship, like I said, it was a perfect timing for the enemy to get me. Okay, so the individual background was very terrible. It was very terrible that I fought hard to come out. There was no way. I couldn't understand my life. My life was just useless. All the way I was in this country. I'm in this country. I came far. I went to school. I couldn't complete. I could not. Drinking was all of the day. And it came upon in my life when I came from work. I would sit in my living room chair. And then I started seeing my own death. I started to see my own death. I say, you mean, oh, this is how most of my friends die in this country. They come from work, and I'm telling you right now, the apartment complex that I'm living, there's a guy who was living in this apartment complex who came from work and sat in the living room. He died 2 days in his living room in a chair. When we were living Chateau apartment, there's a guy who died in the house for almost 4 days. A Liberian guy. He was sitting in that chair. And died in that chair. So the body was in a state of decompose. People started to smell him. You understand? So I started to see my own death. I said, this is how most of my friends pass. So there's a guy, again, I'm telling you about these things. There's a guy that was in Maryland who went to the gas station to buy gas, because in Maryland, you have to pump your own gas. He got down from his car, took the nozzle of the pump, put it in his car, sat in the car front seat. Right there, he died right in the car front seat while the gas was being pumped in the car. You see, what am I saying? I'm saying this to say that when your ancestors, they are after you, you got to stay with God. You got to continue to walk with God, because God is your only protector. But when you live from under the covering of God, you will pay back the debt, because you have already been predestined. You already been predestined to carry on that ancestral duty, that family prayer. No matter who you are, you have to, if you don't know God, you will walk in that ancestral or prayer to carry on that duty. But you have to know God. You understand? Once you are next in line, once you are the first born, born male child in that family, they will make you to carry on that. Listen, y'all don't even know what I went through with these things. You understand? So I'm saying that. So let me go back to what I wanted to say, and I jumped on to friends who die around my area here. So this is what happened. I came from work and I decided, I said, let me just take a little bit of nap, and then I will go to school. My daughter came from school, and then she went across to her friend's place. They started running around, praying. They always trying to get me to where I am buying to save them. Let me see. He said, the guys, he said, they always trying to get me to where I am trying to save them. So you see, so I went to bed. This is how, first of all, this is what happened. Okay. This is what happened before that untimely death missed me. Because I'll tell you this, I was not walking. The number there to call, let me put the number up there to call. The number there to call is, if you want to contribute, if you have anything to contribute to this teaching, to this lecture, I mean, that this is just a lecture that we are carrying on here. Anything you have to contribute is 856-359-0922. Call, let us discuss. I'm discussing my issue on, this is why we call this place the platform of salvation. We speak all things that are right to deliver us, to save us, to help us to get away from these things, to break free from this family coven, these ancestors coven, because people are dying premature death. They don't know. They say, oh, they wish me, they did this. So if you're breaking away from your ancestor coven, your ancestor duty, and you're now walking with God, your life will be short. So this is what happened to me. Prior to that, I want to work, and I got a message from one pastor, from one of those female pastor in how you call it, North Carolina. She sent me a text. She said, I want you to pray. I don't know her. She wasn't even my friend on Facebook. She said, I want you to pray. I want you to take 3 days fast and prayer. And I don't, once people speak to me in that manner, I take it very serious. When it comes to God, I don't joke with it. Even my wife knows that. When she said, the Lord said I should tell you, you should pray, you're not praying, I take it very, 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 very serious. I take it very serious. I don't joke with it. I don't play with it. So they later sent me an offline message. She said, oh, you need to pray. You need to take 3 days fast and prayer. And I did not hesitate. I went, I took the 3 days fast and prayer. Then she came back again. She said to me that I see untimely death. I'm seeing untimely death that is about to happen to you. Untimely death. I got afraid. She said, now, what you need to do, I want you to sow a seed to any orphanage home. Go to any orphanage home and give whatever you have. Give it to them. Just give it to them. So just within that time, my late friend, may her soul rest in peace, George Reed. George called me from Ghana. She said, oh, To Gpntv, they will be ordaining me as the senior pastor for my church, for A47 church in Ghana. Those are all that came from Ghana, the A47 church. So I said, she said, what I want you to do, she was very blunt to me. She said to me now, what I want you to do here is that I want you to sow a seed. I want you to help me to buy a drum set. I told the people that I will buy a drum set. I will donate a drum set to the church. I did not hesitate. So I told her, I said, George, I will send you the money Friday. How much was the money? $250. Immediately I paid that Friday. I went and sent the money to Joyce. Joyce bought the drum. She bought the drum and they dedicated the drum to the church. Oh God, thank you for my life. Delegated the drum and presented the drum to the church. So within that same week, within the following week, that was on a Monday, right? So my daughter came from school and my ex came from work, and they took my daughter. They went across the street to the next door neighbor. So they locked the door. I said, yo, please lock the door. I'm trying to rest to get ready for work. But when I went back in the room, just within a twinkling of an eye, I went in a deep sleep. A very deep sleep. Okay, in that sleep, where did I see myself? I found myself in a hole. A very deep in the black hole, dark hole. I saw myself in long, very deep. I was fighting to come out of that hole. I'm telling you something. And they came from my ex background. Okay? They were fighting me. It came from my ex background. Okay? So I was fighting to come out of the hole. While coming out of the hole, I saw these native doctors. Okay? You know, the cutlasses we use in the farm, on the farm back home, those country cutlasses and stuff what they use to cut the grass from the farm and all of stuff and this and that. So these are weapons they were carrying. Okay, but when I was coming from that hole, look, they were fighting to push me back to cover the hole, and I fought my way by the grace of God. Is by the grace of God. I fought my way. I came outside. When I came out of the hole, that deep, long black hole, when I came from that hole and I saw that, or I saw a light from a city, far off from a city, I saw the light. I came out of the hole. When I came out of the hole, I walked to the refrigerator. When I walked to the refrigerator, you know, those the basket we use in the bathroom for trash can, the one that got the holes all around it, you know. So it had water, green basket. It had water in it, cold water. I took that water from the refrigerator and I drank that water. When I drank that water, I wake up. So the untimely death that woman in North Carolina saw, if I was never going to sow that seed for them to buy that drum, to delegate that drum to the church. So I believe that delegating the drum to the church, it was my life. They were redelegating on my behalf because I bought the drum. I sent the money for them to buy the drum set for the church that will make noise in the house of the Lord. So I got delivered from listening to that instruction. You understand? I got saved. And every time there was a fighting in my life spiritually, sometimes when your ancestor is behind you, you got to stay with God. Sometimes I come from work and sit in my living room, sit behind my computer desk. When I fall asleep, this person will just walk in the house and just push me in my back. I will just jump up from sleep. Because why? I decided to break away from my ancestor prayer. Not to carry on the prayer, but not carry on the prayer. I was supposed to stay in the confines of God. This is how I was going to overcome them. You understand? Because God loved me so much, that's why I did not die in that hole. You know, people don't know. When we come here and writing these books, it's not something that I'm not writing book to make money. The money will come later. But I want other people to be liberated. I want other people to be saved from what I'm talking here. I want their life to be, I want them to come to the understanding of this ancestor coven. Once you are the firstborn, first male child in your family, your life is destined to carry on the family tradition. And this family tradition, it comes to repercussion. And if you don't break away from it, your life will go into that ancestor coven. You understand? We got to be very careful. Let me just share some testimony with you concerning my life. All these things I'm talking about, that book that I wrote is about myself. I went to one village in Nima County called Zogowi. If anybody from Nima, Washington know what I'm talking about. I went to that village, and then I had a friend in that village. So it was my brother Noah Carter, it was Momo, and we all were together. So and they were watching TV because that village, the people had a DSTV stuff. I said, wow, the village is a civilized, a modern day village, yeah. So when I came from the room, I saw two gentlemen, two individuals. I saw these two men. So they were sitting down, okay? So when I came outside, I saw the both of them. I said, what these guys? So I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything. I went back in the room. When I went back in the room, and I told the individual, I said, the people here, they are terrible people. The individual said, but I told you about these people. You got to be very careful with them. Not knowing the individual the individual have kidnapped. They all have kidnapped to mess with my life. You understand? They all have come together to mess with me. Not messing with me, not killing me. So what they did here is that when I went back outside, okay, there was two gentlemen. When I went back outside, the old man who was supposed to perform the duty, he came. The old man came. He opened the door, he came. So he came inside. I looked at him for long. I looked at the two gentlemen. I went back in the room. He came like he was watching. He was watching to do what he wanted to do and just leave cockroach. So he was a chief zoo. He was a chief voodoo priest for that area. But I thank God for God that says that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So while we are talking, the number to call if you want to share your story, if you want to give some input, the number is 856-359-0922, so that we can discuss the ancestor coven. What these covens all in these villages that are taking away people's life and all of these things, so that we can discuss it. If you are part of it, we'll pray with you, pray along with you, and break you loose from that ancestor coven. So the old man entered the house. When the old man entered the house, and I saw him, I went back in the room. When I went back in the room, I fell asleep. Immediately I went in the room, I fell asleep. Hey, this guy, yeah. So I lied down across the bed, okay, across the bed, and then the individual was standing on the other side trying to get dressed up and all of that crap. So the old man that came in, I saw him in the revelation, in the dream now that God was showing me what he came to do to me. He went to the bathroom door inside the room. He went to the bathroom door. He was standing to the bathroom door. And the two guys that came as the advanced team, they in the room, one was standing in the corner and one was standing in the other corner. They both were carrying bottles in their hand. You know, the Coca-Cola bottle, our Liberian, normal day Coca-Cola bottle. That's what they were carrying in their hand. Then the old man who came later on, he was standing to the bathroom door. He was getting ready now to call my spirit, to command my spirit. The people, they are wicked. He was getting ready now to command my spirit from inside, to command my spirit. And then when my spirit jumped out, the guy who on the next side, if I was going to run on that side, he was going to capture my spirit. If I were going to go so, he was going to capture my spirit. So if I were going to go to the old man, he was going to capture my spirit. So it was their plan. They teetered them in the room. Okay, it was their plan. So luckily for me, we were about to command my spirit. The individual just crossed over me, the hem of a lapper. It wake me up. I said, "What?" So I wake up. I say, "Oh, this is the dream I just had." She said, "I told you about the people here." Not know the individual who said, "I told you about the people." They all were in it. They all were in it to capture my spirit. They all were in it to capture my spirit, to put me in a battle. Okay, and all of these things. What am I saying? All of these things tonight. Once you have been predestined. You have been predestined to carry on the prayer of your ancestor, and you're not walking in accordance with the laws and commandments of God. There will always be a conspiracy, spiritual conspiracy theory against you to destroy you. And all of these things that were happening around me, it was a theory, conspiracy theory, spiritual conspiracy theory, because all of these guys work in the same way. You understand? They work in the same format. They communicate doing the spiritual things and all of that. So they knew my destiny was very bright. The hands of God stay upon my life. That's how they did not succeed. They never succeeded in capturing my spirit. I'm saying all of these things to say that when you are the first male child in the family, especially those of us that come from this hard tradition, this hard background, and all of these things, you have been marked. Your name is written on that ancestor coven. When your name is written on the ancestor coven, your life will always be short. Your destiny will always be short. They will fight hard to cut your life short. That's what I'm looking at my son. My son is far away from me, but I say pray for him. If they don't get me, they're going after him. If they don't get me, they're going after him. So this is why it is important to pray for these men. Okay, you the first, I don't care, you cannot escape it. I say your father who broke away from it, bring you and pray for you. Deliver you from it. So now what the enemy has done, oh God, look at what the Lord is telling me. Ah, God, my God. Oh my God, I will tell my wife this, okay? That's what the enemy has done. That's what God just administering to me right now. As I'm sitting here talking about the ancestor coven. Look what the Lord is telling me. I can say it online right now. You understand? So once you are predestined, you cannot escape. You can escape by walking in the commandments of God, by walking in the prayer of your heavenly Father, that is God. And when you come across the book called the Ancestor Coffin, there are recommendations that will help you to break free from your ancestor coven. Why you think in our community, some of our sisters then they just turn prostitute. Our sons and daughters, all of them just a loggerhead, no understanding. They're just useless because some of them they have been predestined for that family pride to carry on our family duty. You understand? So to break away from it, there are recommendations that I gave in that ancestor coven, that book that you can read and gravitate to these recommendations. It will save you. It will deliver your life. So I'm saying this to say that we got to come to the place where we got to know our God. We got to know our God. We got to know our God. Like I talk about the African American, the ancestral spirit. And that book is a very powerful book. It's on Amazon right now. That book is on Amazon. Go Amazon. Just enter my name, Bishop Wilfred Williams, or just put in the African American, the ancestral spirit. That book it will drop down. Go and read about it. See what is happening in our African American community. You think this sharing all these things that are happening in our African American society, in our African American community is spiritual. It's spiritual. You will not understand. It's spiritual. All what you see, all our big man of God in the African American community, they just go up and just come down. I say something the other time, and I'm gonna repeat it here. I said something to my cousin. I said, you see, Martin Luther King, if Martin Luther King was born in Africa, he would be a native doctor. He said, why you say that? I said, yeah, he was predestined to take over his ancestor or prayer. But what happened to Martin Luther King in America? Because he was born here, so that's why his life was so powerful. Okay, his life was so powerful. He was a social advocate because he was born in the African American community in America. You see, that's why they took away his life. Because Martin Luther King, if he was born in Africa, his name was already written on the ancestor coven. Okay, his name was already written on the ancestor coven to take over one of the traditional prayer or the family prayer in Africa, wherever he came from. But being that he was born in America, that's why you saw he went in the civilized advocacy. Okay, he went in a civilized way or advocating for African American social justice and all of these things. But if he were in Africa, he would be advocating for the villager to take part in the ritual activities. That's why you see Martin Luther King was so powerful in this country, because he was being predestined to take over the ancestor prayer in Africa, not in America. That's why he died at an early age like that. You understand? It's a spiritual thing. You see, all our big men in that book, the African American, the ancestral spirit, is a book that people need to read. People need to go after that book. Go there. I didn't put that book out there for money business, but these are things that God, listen. First of all, Jesus understood that he came to set the captive free or the brokenhearted, labor-ridden. He found it in a scroll that Isaiah prophesied about. He found that in the scroll. So when my wife said to me, Suya, I seen somebody putting scroll down in your belly. I just see them putting scroll. You know why it takes to put scroll down spiritually in your belly? Meaning that there are things that God will tell you to write. There are things that God is putting in you, that the scroll on that scroll, in that scroll going down in your belly, it will come alive. This is what coming alive. Some of these things I don't know why you are writing. When I said to write my head, I mean a revelation just coming. It just beefing or pumping up in my head, and I just writing, and I just writing, and I just writing. Let me see. Let me read this person comment. Hello, my people. Please, can you help me with ending the month? We ain't talking about a Monday right now, my dear brother. We can't do that right now. We're not raising money here. We'll talk that later on. We're talking something serious here. If you need prayer, we can get you prayer right now. So, you know, the revelation keep coming, and I keep writing. I keep writing. I keep writing. I keep putting things down because why? The scroll, my website complain. Why you can't sleep? You sit in the bed whole day from 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. Because when the Holy Spirit is dealing with me, that's how I just keep writing. I don't stop. I don't stop. You understand? So when we're talking about these ancestors, that Coffin, people got to break free from it. People got to break free from it. You understand? I broke free from it through prayer. I liberate my life through prayer. God first. If I was not in prayer, or if I am not in prayer, my life would never come to the place it is today. This life that I'm talking about, sitting there, oh, God bless me, I thank God, it was never going to be the way I am. First of all, that this is what happened to me. I'm telling you about the Ancestor Coffin, okay? And I was in Ghana. I used to pray in the church, Apostle Reese and myself, and I went to bed after prayer. I went to bed. Going to bed, was sleeping in the church on the benches. We bring the benches together, put our refugee comforter, vehicle, and stuff, and things like that. So in that revelation, I found myself in the hospital. Okay, my entire family were in the hospital. Everybody there, they had their own bed. So I had an angle chain. The chain was very big and thick. You understand? And this chain was attached to the hospital bed. Long chain. This chain on my ankle permits me to go all around the wall. But at the end of the day, I come right back in the hospital because the chain is attached to the bed. I'm talking about breaking free from the ancestor Coffin. That chain permits me to go all around. But at the end of the day, I come right back to the hospital bed. So it was in the dream I saw that. You understand? So I took a rock. I broke the chain. And there was a lock attached to the chain on my ankle. I broke that lock. I broke the lock, took the chain from my ankle. I walked to the hospital door, and I said to my siblings, I said, listen, I'm not coming back here anymore. If you guys want to be here, it's up to you, but I'm leaving. That's how I walk out of that hospital. You see? So, look at, take this, analyze it critically. You in a hospital, in a revelation, in a dream. You're in a hospital. And the chain that's on your ankle is attached to the hospital bed. This is the total representation of death. Meaning that the coven of the ancestor, wherever you go, you will end up going right into that coven. Okay? At an early age, you will end up going into that coven. So if you want to break free from that ancestor coven, you have to walk in alignment with the will of God. You have to walk in the statutes of God. If you're breaking free from that ancestor coven, my dear friend, my dear brother, you cannot do it on your own, because if you do it on your own, they will come for you. They will be after you. You understand? Listen what happened. The other time, we were driving for Newark. My daughter and I were driving for Newark. And most of the time when I'm driving, I let her drive in the truck lane. Those are in America here. I love to drive in the truck lane. So while we coming, I was driving my Hammer, right? So, and it was raining. So just within that time, we in the middle of the road, doing 65 to 70. And I saw this contract law. When we talk about the devil, they shot devil. They Betu, we call them Betu. Okay, people that from Liberia know what I'm talking about. Betu, well dressed up Betu. The Betu came with horn. The Betu crossed in from my car. Boom! I said, what? I said, what is going on here? But I just smiled because as I am, I already in the spirit. I already in God. So they couldn't have caused me to for my car to make accident. There was no way, because I was protected. They were too crossing from the car, thinking that I was going to be afraid, and because I was driving in a truck lane, one of those trucks was just going to crush my car. But it never happened. They were after me. You understand? I'm saying all of these things because when you are the male child, the first male child in your family, your ancestor, that coven, you want you to go in that coven because you refusing to carry on the family prayer, or you walking to do the family prayer, so they will take you early. They will take you early. So today, I want to break somebody loose from that ancestor coven. If you are here, if you are watching, and you are next in line for that family coven, I break you free in the name of Jesus. You will not go in that coven by the grace of God. That ancestor coven does not belong to you. You are a child of God. You will never go into that ancestor coven. So the ancestor coven is out there. It's in your hometown. The ancestor coven is at Simose Funeral Home. The ancestor coven is around all of this area, because once you decide to walk in the family prayer, to take the family negative prayer, to serve the adults, to discharge their function at that altar, you are next in line, your name already on that ancestor coven. So until then, I take this time to bless God for everyone else. I did not receive a call for anybody to contribute to this ancestor coven thing, but may God bless us all as we take on this journey. As I said, this is the Global Prayer Network TV, a platform of salvation. Wherever you are, wherever you're going to be watching us from next time, I will stay open the line so that we can call. So before we leave, let us take some advertisement for our waging war. You see, one of the things, let me just elaborate. I'm done with that ancestor coven. Let me just elaborate on this waging war. You see, the waging war this 2024, I love this, one of the services that I love so much. This is my best of all the best. This is the best. This is my favorite service. With all the teaching, ceremony, seminar I go on and teaching and all of that stuff. This waging war, because I know what God told me about this waging war. Should I tell you what the Lord said about this waging war? If I tell you what God said, listen. Now this is what we are praying. My wife came up with the team. My wife don't just come up with the team for waging war. My wife don't just come up. She have to pray. Sometimes I will say, well, honey, what's the team for the waging war? She said, swear, we got to pray. I'm not just coming here to just give team for the waging war. Guess what? Guess what's the team this year is breaking strange authors. Breaking strange authors. You know what it takes? Breaking strange authors. So now, when my wife gave that team, when the Holy Spirit gave her that team for breaking strange author, and we in 21 days prayer, it will be climaxing it today, right? By 12 midnight. Join me, 12 midnight on the prayer line. We climaxing, it will be wonderful. We might not pray that much. We'll just give God the praise for a successful prayer time. Successful fasting prayer, 21 days. We were on the line since the beginning of October. It was a powerful thing, 21 days fasting prayer. We've been on our prayer line. Now, breaking strange authors. Okay, so, whenever God speaks, he confirms whatever he tells his servants. You understand? So I've been praying. We've been praying, and whenever I enter the prayer or time with these folks that are on the line, and God will start ministering to me. Okay. First of all, the Lord said, I'm gonna say, the Lord said that this waging war, whoever will put the resources in the waging war, I will bless them. Okay. We have a book launch ceremony. I just got to give the testimony. We have a serious book launch book launch or ceremony. My wife, who was the organizer, she was the organizer because she's my manager. And by the grace of God, all the proceeds for that book launch, I went to bed. After the book said, we praise God, worship God, that it was successful. What we expected, we went beyond our expectation. I was just happy in bed. Sunday morning, not getting ready to go to church. Oh my God, it was something too hard for me. Okay, because the Lord God told me already that whoever gave into this waging war service, into the waging war time, they will be blessed. I will bless them. Okay. So I just wrote it in the bed. The Lord said, you gotta give all this money to the church. I said, hey God, This one is too hard for me. Okay, turning around in the bed, turning around. So I call my daughter Madeline in the room. I said, Madeline, and I say, yo, the Lord said the book launch because she came from Delaware for the program. The Lord said, I'm gonna give everything back. This time she said, yeah, but go ahead, do it. That's a good thing. I went there. I did everything by the grace of God. I said, I don't want to be part of it. God has spoken. I don't want to be part of this. You understand? Because I know the waging war. This is what God told me about the waging war. Altar. You know, now in the church, for this waging war, God has erected an altar in that church. Up that pulpit. Let me tell you, I don't want to say, but I got to say it to you now. For this waging war service, God has erected an altar in that place. Okay? That altar God has erected. It is, look, so many things, the barren. When you come with barrenness, you are going with fruit. When you come with whatever problem you are facing, whatever you are, just come with the spirit of expectancy and just go before that altar, lie down there and pray, because I see God has erected an altar in that pulpit just for this waging war service. That's how God speaks. When God speaks, he confirms and he back his word. So we don't take this waging war to be a fun. I don't know other people might, but I don't do. I take this waging war very serious because I know the ability the waging war has on my life, the impact it has on my life. So if you know what I know, you around here, you around this area, we might go live on the teaching, but there are some things that you gotta be indoor. You gotta be with the believers. You gotta. This is what Paul said. Forsake not the gathering of the assembly. We gotta come together at time, to pray a corporate prayer. But I am telling you, that altar, God has erected an altar in that pulpit purposely for this waging war. That's what the Lord told me. That's what the Lord told me. God has erected. He said, I saw there is an altar at that pulpit. God himself says now we are breaking strange altars. The altars of prostitution, the altar of alcohol, the altar of this, the altar of retrogressions, the altar of setback, the altar of non-achievement, the altar of non-establishment, the altar of academic failure, all of these things. These altars will be broken. Then when you get there, the altar God has erected in that church, it will replace all of those altars that the waging war prayer service has diminished from your life. And when God erect that altar in your life will never be the same. That's what the Lord said. He said, I've erected an altar. I saw it in what praying in my revelation. There is an altar God has erected in that church. I see now. I understand my wife. Oh my God, this guy here, look, the waging war has always been conducted at the 129 Camden Street. So they offer us a place. They say, oh, we want you guys to have the waging war. My wife said, no, honey, we're always having the waging war service here. So let us finish with this place. Then we will see what we can do next year when we move from all of this area. Now I understand why she said no, that we must have here, because God has already erected an altar in that pulpit for this waging war. So taking the waging war from that building, carrying it to another place, it was not the right thing to do. And thank God we didn't do it. You understand? Thank God we did not do it. So if you around the Newark, the Philadelphia, start to book your hotel, Airbnb. Come. If you around here, Airbnb, book your Airbnb. That's just 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday morning, 9 o'clock, I'll be teaching on breaking strange altars, and Friday morning, 9 to 12. Then we go back and rest. We'll come back at 6 o'clock p.m. Then the real prayer service start. The real altar will start manifesting. The real thing. Then we start praying the altars. We start praying the altar that God has erected in the rightful direction in our children, in our family life. So I want to bless God so much for us. Don't take a waging war prayer time lightly. I mean, God is there and God is working for us. Let's take our advertisement before we can leave.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. This isn't just another event, it's a transformative experience that can change the course of our lives and the world around us. Imagine a place where faith communities from all corners of the globe gather, united by one powerful purpose: to wage spiritual warfare through prayer. This summit was established by Reverend Dr. Julian Williams, who received a divine vision in October. With specific guidance to ensure that our public safety systems are updated, this summit aims to equip us with the spiritual tools we need for these challenging times. Now you might be wondering, why is this summit so important? Take a look at the world today. We see conflicts escalating, humanitarian crises unfolding, and leadership being questioned. It feels like everything is spiraling out of control, but through prayer, we have the power to make a difference. At this year's summit, we'll be addressing these pressing issues head-on. We'll be praying for peace in conflict zones like Gaza, where tensions have reached a boiling point. We'll be lifting up leaders, asking for wisdom and guidance as they navigate these turbulent waters, and we'll be seeking divine intervention for those who are suffering, ensuring that humanitarian efforts are strengthened and lives are saved. But that's not all. The Waging War Prayer Summit is also a time for personal renewal. It's a chance for us to reconnect with our faith, to strengthen our relationship with God, and to find solace and strength in His presence. Throughout the summit, you'll have the opportunity to participate in powerful prayer sessions, hear inspiring testimonies, and engage in meaningful worship. We'll have renowned speakers and faith leaders sharing their insights and experiences, providing us with the spiritual nourishment we need to keep fighting the good fight. And let's not forget about the sense of community you'll experience here. There's something truly special about coming together with like-minded individuals who share your passion for prayer and spiritual warfare. You'll leave this summit not only feeling recharged, but also deeply connected to a global network of faith warriors. So I invite you to join us at the Waging War Prayer Summit 2024. Let's come together, united in prayer, and make a lasting impact on the world. Remember, through faith and prayer, we can move mountains. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and get ready for a life-changing experience. I can't wait to see you there. Stay blessed and keep the faith.
If you're a believer, you need to hear this. Fake prophets have turned faith into a spectacle. Bishop Wilfred D. Williams' new book, Veil of Deception, is here to set the record straight. This powerful expose unmasks the spiritual corruption lurking behind the masks of false prophets and pastors. Dive deep into the lies that have led the church into disgrace. With a clear, passionate voice, Bishop Williams reveals the truth and offers a path back to genuine faith. Join him on this critical journey. Veil of Deception is more than a book. It's a call to action for every believer. Stand up for the truth. Reclaim the integrity of the church. Coming next year, don't miss it. Veil of Deception, unmasking spiritual corruption in false prophets and pastors. Are you ready to see the truth?
Searching for a deeper connection? Find it here with us. Welcome to the Global Prayer Network TV, your platform of salvation. At GPNTV, we're all about teaching the Word of God and reviving the timeless values of the Church. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Bishop Wilfred D. Williams for an uplifting and transformative broadcast. Feel the power of prayer, strengthen your faith, and connect with a community that cares. Stay tuned for the latest religious news and updates on upcoming community events. Whether you're seeking guidance, hope, or just a place to belong, GPN TV is here for you. Don't miss out. Be part of something bigger. Join us this Tuesday at 9 p.m. and let's grow in faith together. Global Prayer Network TV, where faith and community come alive.